Hello and welcome to the Leveraging AI podcast, the podcast that shares practical, ethical ways to leverage AI to improve efficiency, grow your business, and advance your career. This is Isar Meitis, your host, and today I'm going to share with you something that I just did this week that I found incredible. Even though this is what I do day in, day out, is build different AI processes and tools for companies. Sometimes I just find myself amazed with how good the tool became and how combining different tools can achieve really incredible outputs in a very short amount of time. So, what I'm going to show you today is how to go from an idea in your head to an extremely helpful application that people can use to get benefits from by combining several different tools with several different agents that you all have access to. And doing all of that, we're going to go through the entire process in about 20 minutes. So, from an idea in your head to a working application that people can use to get value from by combining several different tools in a very short amount of time. And it happened to me when I was working on preparing for the Introduction to Business Automation with AI course that we just launched. So when you're listening to this podcast, it's going to be too late to join the current cohort because it's already going to be running, but we will open another cohort most likely in the beginning of February. So if learning how to combine AI workflow automation tools like NA10 and Make is something you want to learn, this would be an amazing course for you. By the way, if you're not there yet from a progress perspective and you need more basic training, we have the next cohort of the AI business transformation course starting at the end of January. There's links to both of those in the show notes. But now let's go into the process of exactly what I did and how I did it. So my need was to compare different automation tools, what they are good for, what they're not good for, what are their strengths and weaknesses, and to show it in ways that will be helpful for users. Your idea or your need might be different, but the way I started this process is I thought about where can I have information about this. And the very first thing that came to my mind is an episode I've done not too long ago with Pietro, who shared different automation tools and how he selects between them and what is his criteria, which I thought was very helpful. So the first thing that I did is I took the transcript of my conversation with Pietro, which you can do for any meeting, by the way, that you have. So whether the native tools like Microsoft Teams or Zoom or whatever tool you're using to record can do that, or use any of the third-party platforms that knows how to transcribe and take notes. I use Fathom, but there's many other great tools out there. But in this particular case, I actually had the benefit of the fact that I have a YouTube channel and Gemini knows how to view YouTube and understand the context. So all I did is I took the link to this particular episode from my YouTube channel and I gave it to Gemini and I said the following: I would like you to preview this video, and I give it the link and provide a list of all the different tools that allows to build agent flows and what are the strengths and weaknesses that the speaker mentions about each of them. These tools are like NA10, Relay, Relevance, etc. And that's it. That was the entire prompt. And then I got a very detailed output that says the best AI agent tools, NA10, Relay, Relevance, and more by etc., etc. And then it just gave me the answers. So then I have NA10, the strengths and weaknesses, Relevance AI, strengths and weaknesses, Relay app, strengths and weaknesses, make.com, and then a summary. And then I said, okay, this is a good start, but I actually want to go deeper and I want to learn about more tools than the tools we discussed in the actual episode. So then I, still in Gemini, used the deep research tool. Those of you who don't know what deep research is, in almost each and every one of the platforms today, whether you're on ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Perplexity, etc., there's a deep research option that instead of giving you a quick answer, actually goes and researches multiple different websites and then writes a very detailed report, which is what I did in this particular case. I really like deep research in Gemini. I find it to be extremely powerful. And so that's why I use Gemini for this particular task. And I wrote the following: I would like you to perform a research and analysis comparing workflow and agent creation tools such as NA10, Make.com, Zapier, Relay, Relevance, etc. For each of these, provide a short summary that includes general description, pros and cons, and recommendations of when to use it compared with the other tools. and in the end, create a table of summary that can be used in a presentation that combines all of their information in a short and concise way. Now, the way Gemini works is that it gives you its research plan, and it gave me the plan, which wasn't perfect because it was relating just to the tools that I mentioned, and I wanted to go beyond. So I edited the plan and asked it to include additional tools as well. And then it gave me the updated plan and I let it start running. And then it worked for a while, which is the way it works. And it gave me a highly detailed report. So if you're seeing this on the screen on YouTube, then you can see the report as I'm scrolling. If not, I can tell you this is a multi-page report with a lot of details about each and every one of the platforms, way beyond the platforms that I had before, comparing their ecosystem, what they can connect to, what are they good at, when it was established, what is it best for, etc., everything that I asked for, a very detailed analysis. That was a very good starting point. Again, to generalize this to your work, whatever idea that you have, whether it's something related to your product, something related to your service, knowing more about potential clients, about existing clients, deep research is a very good way to increase the amount of knowledge you have, all from specific sources. And you can even define the sources you want it to go after or let it find the sources on its own. Now, if we scroll down to the table at the end that I asked for, it created a feature capability matrix. And what it includes in there is what is the core paradigm, basically what does this tool mainly do, reasoning engine behind it, can you do looping, which is the ability to break stuff into its smallest component and run each and every one of them separately, which is a very powerful capability when you're creating automations, web scraping, human in the loop capabilities, self-hosting capability, and visual debugging of the process. All are very important things that I would have loved to compare about each of the tools. And then on the column, it has NA10, Make, Zapier, Relay, Relevance, and Gumloop. These are the tools that it chose. It actually has more of them in the actual report. And then there is the specific definition about each and every one of them with either a V or an X if it doesn't exist, or it exists, but, and then it has a warning sign next to it. So red, yellow, and green, very easy to see what is what. So now I have 3 different resources that I created in just a few minutes of my own time. I have a detailed report. I have the summary of the video that I gave it, and I have the table that was created in the end. So let's start with the table. I wanted to use this in my presentation inside of the course so I can show the trainees what kind of tools they can be using and what they should use them for. And so all I did is I literally copied this table that was created by Gemini and dropped it into Google Slides and created a page that looked like this. So I called it Options Galore, and I added some graphics on the top and just pasted the table, and that's it. And I was ready with a slide. But Gemini in the latest release just added this really cool button on the bottom that says beautify this slide. And all I did is click the button and it went from just a table that was good and helpful to something that looks really, really cool. It added these more futuristic view to the slide. It has these laser-like lines between the columns and rows. It added the logos of all the different tools in the headers without me even asking for it. And it just made the slide look really, really cool with some background that looks like Tron, like these blue lines that are running behind the scenes, just as a faint background in the back end. And this was just one click. So I went from a pretty boring slide to a really cool slide by using a new AI feature that is now available inside of Gemini. So this was just icing on the cake as far as the presentation. But I wanted to do more. I wanted the people to also have the capability to see the details and not just the summary. And I wanted to be able to recommend to them the right tool for the right task based on their level of experience and so on. My initial idea was just to create a better looking document than the report that comes out of Gemini. So Gemini creates great reports, but it is really bad at formatting. The tool that is currently best at formatting is actually Claude. So Claude knows how to create amazing looking Word documents, PDF files, and so on, just by giving it the raw information. So I started a new conversation in Claude and I uploaded the file that I got from Gemini. So the long report that you can see here, it is 18 pages long of a report. And I uploaded to Claude and I said, please make this look nicer using my brand guidelines. My goal was to create a nice looking document. But the cool thing about the tools today, and Claude is definitely one of the leading ones in this particular aspect, Claude came back after evaluating the document that said the following: I will help you apply your brand guidelines to make something look better. However, I need to see what you would like me to work with. Could you please share, one, the content document you want styled with your brand guidelines? Is it a presentation, document, web page, or something else? I will then use the Multiplai brand guidelines and transform it into a polished branded piece. This gave me an idea. What if instead of creating a document or a presentation, I create an interactive web page? So the idea came from Claude and not from me, but then I asked for the following. It will be awesome if you can create an interactive page in which the user will be able to select from drop-down menus different parameters such as their goal and their level of technical proficiency, and it will rank the relevant results for them and explain why it is best for them. So then it immediately went working and gave me a interactive tool like I asked for that looks like this. So those of you who are listening to the podcast and not watching on YouTube, it has the robot icon on top that is like the emoji of the robot. It says AI automation platform selector, find the perfect automation tool for your needs. And it has several different questions. Question number one, what is your primary goal? And there's several different options there. What are your technical proficiency? What is your budget sensitivity? And what is the expected automation volume? And each and every one of them has multiple options that you can pick from. And once you pick that, it gives you an answer. So overall, amazing implementation, exactly what I wanted. And all I had to do is ask it to generate something in this general direction. My only problem was that the background is purple and the button is purple. And I asked it to build it based on my brand guidelines. So then all I had to do is ask it to change it to my brand guidelines, and it changed it to this. So those of you who again can see the screen, it looks way more professional than the previous version, but it also looks like it is mine. It has Multiplai's, my company's logo on top. It uses my font, my colors, and it just looks much better and aligned with my brand guidelines. On the bottom, it added powered by Multiplai AI business transformation experts, all absolutely fantastic. And just to show you how the tool works, let's pick something random. So I'm trying to build a complex business logic and routing. I'm an advanced user. What is my level of budget? Let's say $220 to $100 a month. And I have a medium level of automation between 1,000 and 10,000 executions per month. And then I click find my platform and it tells me which one should I go with. So the first two that he gave me is make an NA10 and then relay and then gum loop and then stack AI. And for each and every one of them, it tells me why it picked that platform. By the way, if I change it now and I say that I don't need something complex, I need to build AI agents, and I click the button again, then now NA10 is first, and then gum loop is second, and Flowwise is third. So you can see this thing actually does the work behind the scenes, and it gives me why it thinks this will be the best tool for me. Then you're probably asking yourself, how the hell does it know my brand guidelines? And how did it do this amazing magic going from something ugly and purple to being completely aligned with all my products and software and brochures and everything without me having to explain what that means? Well, this is because something in the back end of Claude that is called Claude Skills. So you're probably asking yourself, what are these Claude skills, where they live, and how you create them? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you go to Claude and you go to settings on the bottom left corner, one of the options you can pick is capabilities. If you click on capabilities, you will see different things. The first one is artifacts, and then code execution and file creation, and then memory. And underneath that, you've got skills. And it comes with multiple built-in capabilities like algorithmic art, brand guidelines, canvas design, internal comms, MCP builder, etc. One of the cool ones is called Skill Creator. So if you use this skill, it will help you build new skills. How do you use a skill? Well, in one of two ways. One is if you're on this page next to the skill you want to use, there are three different dots. There's like a ellipses three-dot menu. If you click on that, it says try in chat. And if you click on the try in chat, it will open it in chat. So you can see right now it says that and it's already ready to go. But another way to do this is if you're in just a regular chat and you tell it, I would like to build a new skill, it knows how to call the right skill. So this is the cool thing about Claude skills. Claude knows how to call them only when it needs them. So they don't consume tokens and don't take space in the context window unless they're actually needed. So the skill that I created using this skill builder from Claude is teaching it how to use my brand guidelines. What kind of tone do I use? What kind of font do I use? What are the colors that I use? How does that my logo look like? And so on. And it creates a package for you that then you upload. And I'll show you again, if you go to settings and you go to capabilities again, and you go to the area where you have all the skills, there's a button that says upload skill. And all you have to do is upload the package that Claude itself created for you. And then you have a new skill. And then when I ask Claude to do stuff based on my brand guidelines, it knows exactly what to do. And as you've seen, or if you just listen, then you have to believe me, it was a complete transformation to something that looks completely like something that a web team will develop for me based on my guidelines. So what did we learn today? You can take an idea, a concept. In my case, I need the ability to share with people how to compare between different automation tools. But for you, it might be comparing between different types of products that you offer or different services that you offer, or anything else that you want to do from an HR perspective, or any kind of other idea that you have. You can start with analyzing existing data that you have, because AI is really good at that. You can continue with deep research that will get you a lot more information from third-party sources and will give you a very detailed analysis. And then you can use a tool like Claude to convert it into a much better looking document, a tool like Gemini to turn it into amazing presentations and slides, or still in Claude, create a fully interactive tool that beyond just reading, which is boring and in most cases not very helpful, something that can help people make decisions in a much more easy and user-friendly way. And if you use Claude skills, you can build specific skills like analyzing specific kinds of data in a specific kind of way that you do regularly in your company, or formatting things to your liking, or as I showed you, using brand guidelines, or creating specific kinds of data you need for different processes in a format that the process requires. Literally anything you can imagine, you can create it as a skill, and then Claude knows how to use it. All of that took 20 minutes, and you can do the same exact thing. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is, don't be afraid to try different tools. Don't be afraid to experiment. And then you can do really magical things by just combining 3 or 4 tools together in merely minutes that would have taken otherwise hours and maybe days to complete. And as long as you have the goal in mind of providing value to your target audience, which from my perspective was people who are taking the course, then you are doing the right thing for the right reason in the right way. That is it for today. Hopefully you found this short and to the point and very helpful. Go experiment more with AI. If you want to learn more about the courses, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, and if you're enjoying this podcast in general, please like and share it with other people. You can do this right now. It takes 5 seconds. Just pull up your phone, click on the share button on your podcasting platform, and share this with several people who can benefit from this. They will be grateful. I will be grateful, and you'll be doing something good. So you will feel great about yourself. That's it for today. We have some really exciting guests that we have recorded and recording with. So the next few episodes are going to be absolutely incredible. And until the next episode, have an amazing rest of your week.